our brother Kunle Adeni. Praise the Lord. At least we have a lawyer on this side. So we will have a reporter on the other, journalist on the other side. Amen. Put your hands together for our brother. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Please help me up all of this. No, if you know why I say you clap all of them, you clap all of them very well. Because I'll make the questions very difficult for them. Please, can you clap all of them? We have a series of questions here that we really want to know and have answers to. And I want them to be as plain as possible and as truthful as possible. Maybe we should do oath of office. And let them tell us that they tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. But we know the rule. Now, the first question I have with me here is this. What can actually strengthen the home, given the various characters we have in the home? Did you get that? What can actually strengthen our homes, given the various characters we have in the homes? What can actually strengthen our homes? Let me start with the men's president.
Praise the Lord. Thank you very much for the question. Oh, I can.
Can they sit? Yes. No, can they sit? Only people that say they can sit. They can sit.
In my own opinion, what can strengthen the home, and for me the major thing is communication. Not just communication, but honest communication. I understand that a lot of families where they have problems could be from lack of honest communication. Being able to say clearly that this issue is an issue for me. I believe that if both parties are able to communicate, while there are different viewpoints, both families, both the individuals are coming from different viewpoints, but once there's communication, they can arrive at a compromise middle ground that they can both work with and move the family forward. Praise the Lord.
Okay, sir. Please, before we go on, if you have any question you want to be asked, you can just pass it across to me. Don't write your name there, so that nobody will know you're the one that asked it. Just leave it to, I will represent very well. Don't worry, I'm on your side. I also want the Honorable to answer the same question. What can actually strengthen the home, given the various characters we have in the home? I want us to look at the character one, the character parts, the different people in the house, the one that wakes up early, the one that wakes up late, the one that eats plenty, the one that does not eat, the one that wants to go to school, and the one that doesn't want to go to school. I mean, the various characters, and that can make the home very strong.
Praise God. I think first and foremost, what can make a solid home is to put God first. Recognize individuals' faults and live by it. If you cannot correct your child at home, don't blame teachers, because you must be able to say it the way it is. If you cannot tell a child or anybody in the family that what that person is doing is wrong, then as a parent, you are going to fail. And when a parent is failed, definitely a child under that condition can never be the same. So we must be able to teach our children the word of God, and also to make sure that not only that anything you say, they practice it. Once they practice it, then you know that you are raising a home. A home is not something that somebody should overlook. A home, because they say charity begins at home. Anything your child is going to become in future will depend on the foundation that you're giving to that child. Praise the Lord.
Thank you very much. Yes, this has been a question that this one I'm going to ask. It has been debate for a year before I got married. The thing has been questioned. is it okay for couples to have joint accounts? You see, I knew it has been, the marriage, the thing, I don't know. I don't have an answer. So I want to ask, women, is it okay? I will start with women. Is it okay that couples should have joint accounts?
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
For people that can practice it, it's okay. But for me, I don't practice it. So I wouldn't say it's not okay, but I don't practice it. But for people that practice it, it's very, very okay. Aside from having an individual account, what I know or what I think about joint account is not when the man collects 100,000, put 50,000, the woman should put 50,000. What I understand or what I practice at joint account is, for example, if there is a project the family wants to embark on, we sit down, okay, this is what we want to do, this is how much it's going to cost us, this is what I can afford, this is what I can afford, we'll bring it together and we'll do the project. But the one that the man will put, maybe there is a particular account called joint account, I don't practice it. Praise the Lord.
The joint account thing, I think it's a welcome thing for the family. We should encourage it, but we should remodify it.
Okay.
What I understand by joint account, I know it will be beneficial to the future of the children in case of incasity. How do we remodify it is what we should think about. When the man earns 500,000 per month, the wife is on 100,000 per month. What I understand by joint account is not put your 500 and put my 100,000. It doesn't work that way. Probably the husband feel like, oh, monthly, apart from all the expenses in the house, I can be parting with 20,000. Let the wife to think, okay, out of my meager 100,000, I can be parting with 10,000. Now make an account that the two can sign, because no matter, you cannot tell. The husband wake up one day and he cannot talk. Your wife has no money in the other account. What do you tap into? The wife is not available, the husband is broke. There should be something that you will not say you are being careful and you totally lock up the future of your children. You can at least, something you can part with. Let it be in the joint account. And if the husband comes to be a vagabond person, it is something that cannot make the wife to crash. If the wife too decides to be vagabond and be prodigal and is spending anyhow, it shouldn't be something that will damn the hope of the husband. Something little, but something that could be accessible to both in case of any unexpected situation.
Praise God. Just to add to what both ladies have said, I think the issue of joint accounts is very good and it's very key in the home. We have the principle of checks and balances. Please pardon my language. I mean, it's for both parties to be able to checkmate each other. Now, yes, you understand that there are projects that you also have to do, and you want to look at each other's spendings and both parties contributing to it. Also, he also checkmates the spendings of both individuals. I mean, if the man is a careless spender, if the woman is a careless spender, the joint account helps you to check what comes in. It also helps you to check what goes out, and you're able to manage your resources. So at the end of the day, you are saving more for the rainy day. So I think the principle of checks and of joint account is actually very good, and I think it's something that should be practiced in most homes.
Thank you. Before we continue, I wanted to ask, who spends more, the women or the men? From this point, I know it's the women. I'm very comfortable with the women that spend more. No, now guys, check it now. You go and buy one shoe, you can wear it to party, you can wear it to church, you can wear it to women, color blue, color green, color turquoise blue, sky yellow, sun blue, ash gray, banana yellow. Okay, let's just make this place.
I think all the panelists want to comment on this. Praise God. I borrow the idea of keeping two accounts, one for the family. But joint accounts may not usually work. It depends on your calling. And talking from experience, the amount I spend is far, far more than what my husband spends because of my calling. As a politician, I have to give money to my constituency. And how do you now define it when you now have a joint account? Series of people will come. In fact, in a day, any day I don't send money out, I must send at least to about 3, 4, 5 people. And I don't want to keep on explaining to my husband the way I spend my money. And that doesn't stop me from running the home. Therefore, you must have an account for the home, which is going to be a joint account that both of you contribute according to your income. And at the same time, you can't be fussy about the contribution. You must have a very good understanding about how much you're contributing. And it doesn't have to be a regular thing. At times you may even be blessed to have more. And in some homes, there are some homes, let's be realistic, in some homes, some women are stronger financially than the husband. We must respect that aspect. And you must play accordingly. It's not everything you say your husband must do. Where you have opportunity to take care of the home, don't wait for your husband. Be a godly woman and take care of the home. And at the same time, your husband too must understand where you are coming from and abide by that. So by so doing, the family will not lack. Both of you will not lack in your calling. And at the same time, whatever you have to do to people, to every humankind, you won't be failing it. Praise God.
Praise God.
Hallelujah.
Please permit me, I want to stand. I will be able to express myself better.
He's coming to Sunday school very soon.
You see, the joint account thing, it may work for some people, it may not work for others. So when we are looking at it, we have to balance it. Okay? I think the finest joint account is the understanding that you create between the husband and the wife. That is the finest joint account. Now I tell you how I operate in my home. I carry my wife along. I discuss with her, most of the things I am going through that has to do with finances. Okay? And at good times, the suggestions she brings, turns out to be the best. So I look at it this way. If you should have an account, a joint account with your wife, supposing your wife is not working, where is the income going to, how is the money going to flow from her? So I think I'm repeating it that the best or the finest joint account is for you to have an understanding with your wife. Hello dear, this is my salary, or this is the business I have done, and this is, how much has come in. What do we do? Then we sit down, let's do this, let's do this, let's do that. At the end of the day, we keep this, we do this, we do this, and that is how we have been operating, and it is helping us. Praise the Lord.
Sorry, before we leave this question, people are sleeping. I encourage Tisha. Pastor, I don't know if there will be a message today or the way we are going. I don't know. But it's not me, it's not me. Okay, it's not me. I'm just a moderator. Okay, where there is no trust, is it wise to have joint accounts? See, don't think that the question, see, questions at times, you agree detection, they say this is, what's the spelling of this, what's the spelling of this, you're looking for IX.
I perceive it that the question itself has partly given us.
Okay.
You said where there's no trust. No trust, no joint. Because the other person knows.
What table code? No trust. Thank you, ma'am. This is a round of applause.
Are we through with the joint account?
I think we're through with the joint account. That one is always a very interesting one.
Okay, let's go to the next question. Is marriage all about companionship or childbearing? Is marriage all about companionship? Or is it about childbearing? There's some people that go into marriage and say, and then concerning the sexes, okay, I want a child, I want a male child, I want a female child. That's what I married you for. Is it about companionship or is it about childbearing? Praise the Lord. I think there are 3 reasons why marriage is instituted. The first one is for companionship. The second one, I can't remember, but the third one is for childbearing. So meaning that for companionship is more important than for childbearing. Though it's part of it, but the first one is for companionship.
I think it is for companionship, because the Bible even said that for this reason the man will leave his father and cleave to his wife. So I think it is for companionship more than childbearing. And there's another one that says the two will be joined together and become one. So it's for companionship.
Sisters can quote the man must leave his father. They can quote that scripture.
Okay, sorry, she said something about the companionship. That's the number one. The second is fellowship, and the third is childbearing. Now, in that sequence, that's what it is in the book. Genesis. So that is, if many a times when we come for marriage counseling, we try to tell you this, so that you know that childbearing does not come first. Obviously, in African setting, we try to reverse that order. We bring childbearing first, then we put fellowship even to be the last. Because fellowship is the center. Because the main thing that holds the companionship and also the childbearing to come to pass is a fellowship with God.
Thank you, sir. There are plenty questions here, Pastor. I don't know. And they are coming. Okay.
Okay, the next question. What are the things that make people go into a wrong marriage? What are the things that make people go into a wrong, let's say, a marriage that is not godly?
Praise the Lord. I would want to list several reasons. There are quite a number of them. One of them, some of them are number one, peer pressure. Your mates are all getting married and you seem to be under pressure that you're not getting married. Number two could be even family pressure. You've finished school and your parents are asking you every day, where is he, or where is she, as the case may be. Also, about peer pressure, family pressure, even age is another factor in why you're of a certain age and you feel that you're crossing over you're over the hill and you seem to want to jump into anything that comes by. You don't want to be patient and wait for God to bring the right person to you. And these are the few reasons I can identify immediately right now. Praise the Lord.
Sorry, from a church point of view.
You have to carry my.
Okay, thank you very much. Why do people get? I agree with his point 100%, and I'll take it from there. The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 19, I'm trying to bring out the exact verse now. Verse 14b, the B part of verse 14 says, "And a prudent wife is from the Lord." One, do the people pray about it? They are talking about the prayer pressure and everything. When you come for counseling, I would say, are you sure? There are some questions you answer in the counseling booklet. And when we look at those questions, we know where the truth is and where the truth is not. Now the question is, did you pray about it? And one thing I've learned from my fathers in the house is that when you say it is the Lord, when you come back and say, it will tell you that when did the Lord change? So it's important. The Bible says a prudent wife is from the Lord. So if a prudent wife is from the Lord, you have a responsibility to pray. And at the same time, the woman also has a responsibility to also pray. Because the same thing says, he that findeth. So finding is positioning. You need to be in the right place at the right time, and others and others. Thank you.
Clap for pastor. Because you don't tell Bible. You can't dissociate it from the life of a pastor. You always say the Bible say and the Bible say. There's a big question. Okay.
Just to add to what has been said, also I think fear of study or understanding of the partner, person you are in the relationship with. There are certain instances at times where I say, yes, it goes beyond peer pressure in itself. You have the person you are dating, you court for a little while, and because there's so much pressure, you want to jump the gun. But there are certain things, there are certain attributes, there are certain vices you see in your partner, and you think, oh, you can let it go, you can ignore some of those things. But these things are clear visions that yes, all may not be well between the person that you are about to marry. But some people, because of the pressure they are under, they ignore all of those things. And that is why you have people when they go into homes and they are being beaten, the likes of them. So when you don't have an understanding of who you are entering into a relationship with, when you tend to ignore certain issues surrounding the person, then you miss it. And when you don't pray about it, prayer, they say it's very key. I mean, when you don't go through the right counseling before you get into marriage, you are definitely bound to go into a wrong marriage.
It still has to do with misplaced priorities. We place priority over beauty, over wealth. We no longer think of the real value that can really anchor the marriage till the end. When the sister is looking for a man to marry, you want a tall, fair-skinned man. And you want him to also have the attribute of loving you the way God should love you. We are looking for, let me say, full package. So maybe I think the major thing is misplaced priority. We should go back to the real family values, where we teach our children that it is not all that glitters that are gold. It might really be glittering outside and the inside is rotten. Thank you.
Praise the Lord. I want to dwell on the fact that he said ignorance. Now, I had a friend many years ago, when she was about to get married, she was in love, it was fair and handsome, tall, had money in the pocket, and somebody came and said, this man you are about to marry, I think he's married. And then she said, then she made noise, and she said, somebody said that, she said, and the man said, me? Let's go and meet the person. And she was convinced that since the man said, let's go and meet the person, that the man, and behold, on the wedding day, the wife came with the card and said, this marriage will not hold. And everybody was waiting at the reception, and she had to pretend that she had finished getting married. And she had to sit down and cut cake and drink wine and pretend. And it's the truth, I'm telling you. And only to find out that the man had 6 children. Yes.
Somebody said Jesus.
So when we're talking about ignorance, somebody told you that this man, I think he's married. There will be signs. God will not allow you to enter things. There will be signs. Sisters, brothers, don't ignore those signs.
Thank you, ma'am. Please can we clap for There are things that are called red flags. You begin to see the red flags. Emotions are trying. Oh, really? There's nobody. When you get emotionally involved, it takes the Holy Spirit to help you out of it. But before you get into emotionally involved, before you get so emotionally involved, hear God on time and just let it go. But our own desires too affect us. In those days when we were before we got married, there was specification. There were statistics. Whoa, forget whether I'm sure Pastor David to have statistics. See, it's a normal thing. But whether you now go with those statistics in your head or not, it's a different. You said about the value. There's an inner value. You will not discover until you meet with the person. I'm not a marriage counselor, at least not yet. So I won't dwell much on that. But please see the red flags and run when you can run. There's a question about the joint account, which you have answered. An account is joint account maybe when you are all putting money into. One of the one that does not have money, there's nothing, there's only one account, you are the one putting your money into. And there are different signing rules to accounts. It mustn't always be code to sign. It can be 50,000 and below, A can sign. 100,000 and this, B can sign. It can be A to sign this, B to confirm. As bankers, they have many rules. And these rules are not necessarily to be, these are to protect both parties. So let's not dwell much on that. Now, no matter the number of questions that come here today, I must ask one question. Because my people there have sent me. The children's church, they have sent me. And I must ask that question. Whether the pastor is even taking the mic from me, I'll be waiting to all my energy. I must ask that question. Now let me ask, I should ask the question now.
Yes.
They would. Okay, the question is this. Why do parents, or questions, this is question I've been living with, and I tell you, it's troubling our heart. Why do parents not trust us? Why teenagers? Yes, teenagers are now. Why don't you trust us, you parents? I'm looking at all. You don't trust us and you call us all kinds of names. That the things are hurting us and you don't listen to us. When we have things to share and they are hurting our hearts, you don't listen to us. You are very easy to say, okay, I will listen to when I come back. You're very easy to say, is that all? And you move away. But these things are touching our eyes. Why don't you trust us? Why don't you listen to us? What was the last one? See, they're not listening. They refuse to listen. They refuse to listen because it is from us. That is the problem. Why don't you listen to us? Why do you call us all kinds of names? And why don't you trust us? If you want to answer it now, answer it now. But you must answer it. Are we starting with that? Who wants to talk?
At times, we are all guilty as parents. Because children will run, oh, mommy, I need to talk to you. But we should understand the kind of world we find ourselves in. It's a fast-moving world, where the mother is having a target to deliver in the office, and the daddy too is having a target. So I want to say we are guilty first, but it should be an issue that parents should start having a kind of mind research, that even the children, they are another ministry, they are another career where we must not fail. Like in my own situation, I run a very tight schedule, and at times it will just be done on me in the cost of delivering. Okay, I've delivered this, people are applauding me, I did well, I've delivered that, and that thing will just drop it in the memory. Have you spoken with the children today? So I want to call them, I want to try to make up where I think a little gap has been created. I think as in the modern world, as working mothers, as fast-moving fathers, we are guilty and we are appealing to the children that we're going to meet them. And I think we should all address that. Thank you.
Praise the Lord. Again, I want to stand up. It is told that it's only in Nigeria that the mommy will be downstairs and will yell at the daughter. And when she comes down, say, go up to my bedroom and bring my bag for me.
Yes. Yes, you don't like it.
Praise the Lord. I think we exert too much authority over the children and in the home. We always want the children to know that we are in charge. Okay? And I think it's not helping. We know there's so much embedded in our children. So much is embedded in them. But you see, we have not tapped what is inside of them. So is it autocracy? Eh?
Yes.
The autocracy method, of leading the home, we have to drop it. We have to drop our shoulders so that we give the children a chance. I think we should run democracy in the home. I try as much as possible to do so. Please come, let's reason together, just as the Bible says. Come, let's reason together. Even your even though your sin may be red as crimson, it may be as white as snow. Come, let's sit down together, and you will wonder, when you hear the children, make their suggestions, you will wonder, So I think we have to do it. I think as much as possible, 99.9% of the parents, fall short of this. And from this hour, because it has been revealed to us, we have to take steps, to correcting them. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. Like Daddy said, I said we should run a democracy type of in our home. I want to tell a story that Pastor Praise for were told us sometimes ago in the women's program. And anytime I remember that story, I think every parent should listen to whatever their children has to say. No matter how stupid you think their question is, please try and answer them. There was this girl, she came back from school sometime. She asked her mother, "Mommy, please, what is the meaning of sex?" The mother said, "Keep quiet, this is a Christian home, don't mention that kind of thing again." Later she went to the father, "Daddy, please, what is the meaning of sex?" The father said the same thing. Did you hear what your mother said? Don't mention that kind of thing in this home again. And they had a driver that used to drop the child in school in the morning and pick her in the afternoon. So sometime after some week, she had the driver, "Uncle, please, what is the meaning of sex?" Uncle said, "You two ask Daddy and Mommy." She said, "I asked them, but they said they shut me up." She said, "They shut me up." Then Uncle said, "Okay, I will tell you." So we took after some week, she asked the question again. Uncle said, "Okay, don't worry, I will tell you today. Whatever I do to you is the meaning of sex." So the driver went to pick the girl after school one day, and the girl asked the same question. And instead of taking her home, he took her to his own house and said, "Whatever I do to you is the meaning of sex." And he made the girl, I put a fear in the girl like that. If you tell anybody, you are going to die. So, to cut the long story short, he slept with the girl. And the story is that thing was happening in that home. I think he said for 8 years or so, without the parents knowing. Just because of the fear, if I tell anybody, I will die. And because of lack of communication in the home from the beginning, the girl couldn't open up. Until one day, when I think maybe she was of age or something like that, then she had to open up. The thing is that they sacked the driver, but the thing has been done for good 8 years. So if we don't want to cry later, no matter how their question is, try and give them the answer that they understand. Even if you don't want to go into detail, like maybe the child is too small, but at least say it in a way. Like he told us that if you want, like we can teach a child that is 1 year sex education, and people ask, how do you teach a child that is 1 year sex education? He said that children learn by singing. That I bought the CD. In the CD, he made it so that he taught children their parts of body, that there are parts that are private, there are parts that are public. Let the child know the parts that are public. Call them by the name. Let the child know the name. Then the one that are public, let the child know that the one that are private is for her and for her alone. Even the parent should not have access to them. So that when somebody else is coming to touch that private part, she knows that that part belongs to her alone. Then she will say it out. So no matter how stupid you think their question is, try to answer them. Please,
we're running short of time now, but please talk to us. We want to talk to you. Even if you feel you already know the answers, give us time. We want to feel happy that we have taken some of your precious time. It makes us very happy.
I just want to say something about whether autocracy or democracy in the house. We also, in as much as it's good for us to reason together, I want to still feel that as parents, whether it is the 1% out of 99%, we have to still reserve that right of authority, you know? Because most times, you know, children being who they are very wise, they're clever, they know how to play you. They go to the mother today and say this. When the mother doesn't answer, they go to the father. Meanwhile, you have said, you know, there's a way. And at times, you be talking gently and quietly, or democracy and anything. After some time, they don't answer, just change. And just, you know, and just say, why you, they always shout, why you should, because I've talked to you in a way that you did not answer. So I have to now become the, you know, the aggressive, even if you feel I'm aggressive. Why are you always shouting at me? But I've talked and I've done everything and you are not listening. So we still must reserve that right. Because that's the difference between us here and those abroad, where you cannot do anything. They call the police for you. You understand? So we must try to do what we're supposed to do and be friends, but we must also use that rod when they refuse to hear that one that the face that you are giving them, and you change also. So he said that something that the dog used to play with the children, that's the one used to bite again. So you must be able to also bite, even as you do other things.
Praise the Lord. Somebody sent me a video yesterday and he said that many people are lacking, many parents are lacking, children are lacking vitamin N. What is vitamin N? No. Yes, it's not everything that vitamin, no, they must have it sometimes.
Yes,
praise the Lord.
Representing. Yes, it's good you tell us they know, but we want to understand that you told us they know after listening attentively to us. Please, okay, I'll tell you, my mom said she has apologized on behalf of everybody. I'll go back and say that they have apologized, they will change their ways. They have repented and are now a new man. Okay, see, we are really running short of time now. I'm going to ask these three questions in a way. Is it wise for spouse to keep secrets, to keep secret friends? And should the husband be transparent enough as regarding salary? I'm just going to put, they are about almost the same thing, so I'm going to put them together. What do you do if you are married in a wrong marriage, especially when the light of God's words, or especially in the light of God's words divorce? Is divorce ever okay at any point? How do you live with family members that don't love you? They don't show their love. They say they love you, but they don't show their love. Is love in feeling or in action? I'm sure it's from his sister. Will it be right for spouse to disclose their password, phone, computer, and gadget password to each other? Should I ask the question again? Let's just answer the one we can answer. Anybody that's going to talk will not take anything more than 1.5 minutes because of our time. I don't want somebody to come from the camp and ask Professor G. Let me know. Let me look for.
Which one?
All of them, choose anyone. AC is password, they are It's not so that.
Praise the Lord. With regards to the password and the access to the phones and all the other gadgets.
Online bank ATM.
We have to group them. The financial passwords are separate from the social password. So we have the social password and the financial ones. So the financial ones are personal to the individual, subject to the discussions we had on the joint account. But on the social side, I personally don't agree that there should be any passwords on phones and other. If there are, then they should be mutually shared. Maybe so that your children don't start making calls and all of that by mistake. Sometimes you can keep your phone in your pocket and it will start to dial. We know all these things. So I personally believe that passwords should be shared. Your spouse should have your passwords with regards to phones, but on the other side, there should be personal president.
And there are other questions to be said. Question of.
Praise God. In the issue of keeping a secret friend, I don't think it is good enough. Your friend should be a family friend, most especially if you're a public figure. And talking from experience, people will say all sorts of things if you are keeping a secret friend. But if your husband or your wife knows about this friend that you are keeping and know the depth of the relationship, whatever anybody says after that shouldn't bother you. Because I have had series of experience as far as that aspect is concerned. And the only thing the two people that I know I have a question or answer for is my husband and God. So if the entire 180 million Nigerians say anything about me, I'm not bothered. Otherwise, you'll be distracted. But if your ways are not clear and you don't discuss your secret friend with your family and your friend is not part of your family, then that's a problem. So there should not be anything called secret friend. Secret friend will lead to so many things, and you will not be able to defend yourself on the day of the questioning. I think we should be very careful about what we do as Christians. And secondly, on the issue of password, there shouldn't be any password between you and your husband, except if you are keeping something that should not be known. You should be open to whatever you are doing. As a Christian, we must be transparent. If you have taken somebody to be your life partner, then that person is your life partner. And that's nothing you are doing that you should not know and you should not be party to. Praise God.
It's always the way I want to know what the password.
The issue of a wrong marriage or divorce, I think if we understand more what the person means by wrong marriage, you'll be able to give a clearer answer. If you are saying wrong marriage in that maybe somebody was married, then you now marry the person, it's a wrong marriage. Or are you saying it's a wrong marriage because the person turned out to be a good or the person you didn't expect and you now want to say, I have married wrongly, so I need to divorce. Let's note what the Bible says. It says, God himself said, I hate divorce. That is number one thing that he said, I hate divorce. But there are situations and circumstances that have forced people to go into divorce. It is what you now do in that your divorce state and the man that now kind of like cause a problem. Can I remarry? Can this and that? Those are the issues. And when you want to look at the Bible, I think that person needs to come for counseling, because these are very, very, difficult issues that even at times it's difficult to even swallow whatever pills that you are being given. So, wrong marriage or no wrong marriage, you need to actually know what you mean by wrong marriage or no wrong marriage. Okay, can I be divorced? If I'm divorced, can I remarry? And there is always an issue with the mission particular that we are in. There are other people who have been to other missions who say, this one say I can do this one say I can do this. So you need more, if you need more clarification, it's something we need to sit and talk about.
Praise the Lord. I mean, the Bible says, when the foundation is wrong, or when the foundation is not good, what a righteous do. I mean, if you are building a house and you don't have a solid foundation, you know that that house is bound to crash. Now, how do you explain this? As a lady, you know the person you are going out with is not from the same religion as yours. You are not in the same faith with the person. And you have become a prayer warrior, and you are telling the whole world, including your parents, that you can change the man. You can change the man. And you force yourself, against all odds, you force yourself into that marriage. Certainly, that marriage is going to be a wrong marriage. Praise the Lord. Again, as a young lady, as a young man, you go into a relationship, and you don't get a right counsel. You said, my pastor said it is okay. Now, how rooted is your pastor in the faith? Praise the Lord. So we must look at this thing from the beginning. What is the foundation that brought about the marriage? If the foundation is wrong, I tell you, you can't change it unless God come into the situation. Praise the Lord.
We've been able to manage many things. There's a question we didn't answer, but among the question I asked. Is love more of feelings than action? If you're in a marriage, you don't feel the love. You don't see the action of the love. And the person tells you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Money, and then the person does not act it. I mean, how do you handle the situation? I just want one or maximum 2 people to just say that. Okay.
I think it should be both feelings and action. Now, in a situation where that is missing, on the part of the woman, I mean, what are you doing to, should I say, ginger that love, that action? Do you nag about it? If you say that, oh yes, he keeps saying he loves you, he's not doing this, he's not doing that, what are you doing to endear him more to you? I mean, to bring him closer to you. Truth of the matter is, if you keep nagging, if you keep saying, oh, you keep saying you love me, I'm not getting this from you, I'm not getting this from you, you are probably drawing the man away from you. But on your own part, how much of endurance do you have? How much of patience do you have? And what are those things that you are doing? Are you still giving him his favorite dishes? Are you still giving him the hugs? Are you still comforting him when he needs it? In as much as he's not showing it to you, it's not enough reason for you to always complain. What do you do? There are some actions that even women themselves do. I'm not saying the fault is totally on women, but if you understand the man you are getting married to, if you understand the man you are in a relationship with, I think it's for you to be able to put in more effort to say, oh, why is this man smoothed down? And I believe with time, when you do all of those positive things that will make the man say that, yes, this woman is indeed worth it, she's indeed valuable, I need to do something to replicate all of these things that this woman has done for me. I think later, with time, the love will come.
This is not saying you cannot be shouting like the side of God.
Because some men now feel well.
Okay, men.
They don't know how to say I love you, but they love you. He doesn't know how to come close, hugging you, kissing you, but he has a very strong feelings for you. You yourself will know. A man that has strong feelings for you will never think of hurting you. For giving a too tight handshake to another woman, he might be just not in the mood, because he has a very strong feeling for you. And the check and balances we are talking about, his feelings will be the one doing that. But for somebody that is, I want to hug you to say good morning, I want to give you kisses, I want to call you, have you had your lunch? It might still not be the kind of action that can solidify the marriage. You see, some men, I'm not saying all, they are just experts. You want to tell you, oh, wonderful, you look great, you look good, man. But at the end of the day, it's one, he's giving it to 10 women in the case. It's more feelings than action. Thank you.
So what we're saying is that our women, our sisters, our mom, our wives love kisses and hugs.
Yes. I want to add something to this. Now,
action, love is action, love is a feeling. Because if you even check the dictionary, it's a noun and it's a verb. So it's action and it's feeling. It's feeling.
So for you to pass,
so
you must have the two combined.
The two must be combined. But now, what kind of action? Because the action you are asking for, I like Telemundo. And one day I was watching, and my husband said, "This Telemundo that you like watching." And then my son just came and said, "Daddy, she watches it because you are not romantic enough." I said,
I disagree.
And I told my son is on point. So, now I get to the action. You know, sometimes, like she said, some men are quiet, some men are not. And maybe they just don't know how to express it. Like if my husband is making a child, "Why did you come?" I will tell him, "I love you too." Because I know that it's because he loves me. That is why he's worried. That's the action. So you need to understand the person you are with. So if you are waiting for Telemundo love, please just be watching the Telemundo.
Thank you, ma'am. But that's the way you see Telemundo love.
I think this one is more of an advice, most especially to Christians. There are some certain things we leave behind, as Christians. If you have taken your husband to be your loving husband or your loving wife, nothing should be secret between both of you. But as Christians, we will keep that love. We pretend. Please do not pretend at all. Both of you must come together. You must understand yourself. You must understand what your husband loves, and your husband must know what you like. In such a way that both of you will continue to appreciate each other. But as Christians, you say, no, Christians should not do this. Please. Those things that you feel Christians should not do, it's not right. Christians should be able to do everything if you are husband and wife. So by the time you do that in righteousness, thank you very much, there will not be any gap and there won't be any sin. But when you claim to be a Christian and you don't do anything, my dear sisters, do not leave your husbands open to temptations. So please, both of them come together and understand each other and do things in a godly way.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
I think all has been said. I'm only adding. The first day my son saw me sit very close to my wife, he was surprised. Yeah, because we don't practice it. But that doesn't show that we don't love each other. We do. I don't kiss my wife, I don't hug her. But that doesn't show that I don't love her. Some of us did not grow in that, in that environment. We don't have that capacity. So if we don't show it,
Okay, my sister's there. The Lord is one that put us in Africa. He knows what we're going to face. I tell you, an African man finds it difficult to be doing the kiss in the morning, hugging the morning, send text while they're chasing, while you're about to sign 20 billion naira contract. Telling you, I love you. It's difficult, but if you can, if this is what our women want, if this is what our women want, and we are of God, then we can learn to show them love. You understand what I'm saying? You can't tell me so much you love me and I don't see the action. It puts doubts in my heart that you really love me. Brethren, I beseech you by the mercies of God. If our sisters want us to kiss them, please kiss them. They don't sell it in the market. It won't cost you a checkbook at all. Do the kissing. God will help us in Jesus' name.
As you have said, please, I want you to just blow a kiss to. Sister Kenny.
She has gone to.
And it will fly.
All right. Okay, now we're rounding off now. It's a little related. How should we discipline our children in the home, Christian home? Are we parents still teaching values of respect to our children? How do we lead our children to the Lord? Please do not assume that everybody that is giving birth in a Christian home is born again. How do we lead our children to the Lord? There's one that is a little different from that. It's on finances. If the woman is the one, the question is, if the woman is the one contribute financially to the house, to the home, to the upkeep of the home, what should be the attitude of both parties? Now, the attitude of the man and the attitude of the woman. And we found it a lot in our days these days. Men have lost jobs, women still keeping their jobs, they are the one maintaining. So what should be the attitude of the man in that home? And what should be the attitude of the woman in that home? How do we lead our children to the Lord? How do we discipline our children? How do we teach our children respect and values in Christian home? 1.5 minutes each.
Okay, in terms of discipline, discipline should be on both parts. Now, it's not when a father is scolding the child and the mother is, putting blames or shelving the child. I think it's both. I mean, I remember growing up. In fact, I grew up, Yoruba parents are very strict when it comes to discipline. And if you grew up in the 90s and the likes of them, you know what discipline is. In fact, I know that once my mom disciplines me, by the time my dad comes back home, I'm facing round 2 of that punishment. It won't even go the other day. If my dad disciplines me and my mom hears about it, I will definitely get 1 or 2 comments from that. And when our mother stop, they hit it on the head. They always go even to the next day. They will tell you the story of the previous day, and your dad has already disciplined you about it. So I think what is lacking these days is and in terms of discipline, the moment it's one side that is doing the job, the child tends to feel, this person doesn't like me, this person doesn't like me. But if it's coming from both parties, you are sending the message and it's sinking into the child's ear that definitely I've done something wrong for daddy to scold me, for mommy to scold me. So I think it should be for both parties, not that you are neglecting one and you are petting the other one on the other side. That is the only way a child can grow. And in bringing the child closer to the Lord, I mean, every household should have its own communion time. Every day I know early in the mornings there is always monthly devotions. In as much as some may not be part of it because of their time schedule, but for every morning, Mondays to Saturdays, I think Saturday is even the best time because there is always a general devotion before you start your activities of the day. Everybody can talk about the word. I mean, it's a constant reminder of the word, and there is always this rotational preaching. So it always goes around everybody. I mean, you let the child dwell more in the Lord as against, just sitting in your home and saying, you pray for the child and this. But when there is a communion, I think somewhere along the line, you are drawing the child closer to God.
Okay.
Now to bring up our children, I just want to add to what you have said. There is something that is trending now on the WhatsApp about the Yoruba parents. They said, Iladi, Ifoti, Ifarun, Ifakun. Those ones are mentioning different parts of the body that the mother can just slap you there to discipline you. I think in our generation now, we think our children should have it all. We give them good schooling, good clothing, and we are even afraid to touch them. We've turned them to elves. We are not talking of child abuse here, but there are times we need to shake them up and let them know that the way we were brought up, we want to give them a shot. Because I remember my late brother, like I gave the testimony of 11 months, I always cry even if I still have friends. If any one of our own friends see me, how are you? We are in Abuja, I'll start crying because I miss her so much. She gave a lot of love, but she doesn't spare the rod. If you do anything and she can't catch you during the day, in the night you'll be sleeping and she'll wake you up. We need to talk. That thing you did, and there's no amount of explanation. If anybody is knocking that door, she's not going to open it. So if you don't want such a treatment, you want to keep to our rules. And concerning the values, when our children greet us and they can't kneel down as Yoruba, we should return it back to them. is not full enough. Because we should remember, if we give them everything they need, but they can't even adore you as parents and kneel down for you. Know that such children will not go and kneel down for the boss. He will not kneel down for the mother-in-law. And you have already created problem for their future. So when they greet us, they should greet us with the value that we know we can embrace as parents. So we shouldn't be treating our children as eggs, and we should return back to those olden days, whereby mother has special king, even in their hearts. Thank you.
Praise the Lord. When in my house, the slaps that we used to call my mother slap, she would say, 1 column cash book, double column cash book, triple column cash book. You know? So that's what.
Well, I think I remember a story when I was growing up. You know, these shoes our parents are. The heels were something else. They were very big. Very big. My father would tell me to lie down. I dread that discipline. You raise your hands, you carry the shoe, your legs will raise your legs. You now sit down like this. Last time, you now sit down like this with cane. All he's waiting for you is your hands to go down, or your legs to go down. There's no encouragement. I think, well, yes, they could have seen so hard and looked so wicked. In the child side, they are wicked. I'm not talking about child abuse. It's wrong to abuse. You know when you're abusing your child. You're beating your child, there's blood, and you continue, there's wickedness in your heart. And you need a lot of repentance. In fact, you need to come to Pastor Padi or Pastor Padi. Pastor Padi now and say, I want to confess my sins. But what we're saying is that the disciplines we've had are shaping our lives to be who we are. So why do we think we should not discipline our children? There's a saying in Yoruba, let's do it like they do so that it can be like they did, like it used to be. I said, let's discipline these children. Let's teach them. Yes, it's not a must. When they go to US, they will kneel down. But for goodness sake, when they learn to kneel down, to stand up not to kneel down will not be a difficult thing. God will really help us. Please, can we give a round of applause to our panel?
I want to answer the last question. The question was that, how do we lead our children to Christ?
To Christ, yes. Let Pastor answer this one. Are you ready?
Even though they are born into a Christian home.
Yes. Just like he was trying to say something about when you have the times of devotion, and the times you have together, the times of fellowship, there are periods you can introduce Christ. Because the fact that they are born, even as pastors, children, it doesn't mean they are born again. So it is all these periods that you talk to them, preach to them, try and bring it, wrap it up with that. If you have not given your life to Christ, if you have not, try to let them understand. I think those are avenues with which, apart from the times that they have in church, the times they have in Sunday school and all that kind of thing, the personal times you also have with them are the times you can introduce Christ to them and get them to come to the knowledge of Christ.
Thank you, ma'am. I would encourage us to give a standing ovation for our panelists. It's not always easy to face this church. I know this church. Please, can we just stand up and give them